The question has followed LeBron James longer than any defender ever has. It shadowed him in high school, trailed him through Cleveland, burned through Miami, resurfaced in Los Angeles, and still lingers today. It is a question that feels less like analysis and more like accusation. Is LeBron James clutch? No superstar of his stature has been defined so heavily by a moment that hasn't happened yet. The final seconds, the ball in his hands, the world waiting to see whether he becomes the hero or the headline. For LeBron, clutch has never been a statistic. It has been a debate, a burden, a psychological trial that says more about how we view greatness than how he plays the game. To understand this question, you have to understand the expectations he inherited. LeBron didn't arrive in the NBA as a promising talent. He arrived as prophecy, the chosen one, the next Jordan, a player expected to be everything before he became anything. And with that label came a demand: deliver in the biggest moments or be defined by the ones you fail to deliver. Jordan's legacy had set the terms. For LeBron, greatness wouldn't be measured in points or titles or longevity. It would be measured in moments, decisive, dramatic, unforgiving. But LeBron never approached the game the way the world expected him to. While fans wanted isolation, he sought precision. While critics demanded hero shots, he demanded correct decisions. His version of clutch wasn't the mythic ideal the NBA had created. It was something quieter, more calculated, more complete. That's where the tension began. When LeBron made the right play, passing to an open teammate instead of forcing a contested shot, analysts questioned his killer instinct. When the numbers said he was one of the most efficient clutch performers in the league, fans pointed toward the moments that didn't fall his way. When he elevated teams through poise rather than bravado, people wondered why he didn't show more aggression. The world wanted Jordan's silhouette. LeBron gave them something different. That difference became skepticism. The early years in Cleveland shaped the narrative. LeBron carried rosters that weren't built for deep playoff survival, and the pressure to do everything, the scoring, the passing, the leadership, became suffocating. His late-game decisions were viewed through the lens of expectation rather than context. A missed shot wasn't a miss, it was an indictment. A turnover wasn't a mistake, it was a verdict. And the label began to form. Maybe he wasn't clutch. But clutch moments are psychological moments. They are built on trust, strength, confidence, and the belief that one play can rewrite a game. And for a young LeBron, the pressure didn't create clarity, it created noise. The world saw hesitation where he saw calculus. They saw fear where he saw choice. They saw an absence of fire where he saw the responsibility of making the right basketball play, even if that play wasn't his shot. Miami changed him. The backlash from the decision, the finals collapse of 2011, and the league-wide expectation that he validate his own mythology forced LeBron into a rare space, one where he had to confront not only the question of clutch, but the question of self. That season broke him publicly, but the next ones rebuilt him privately. Miami became a laboratory for transformation. He grew sharper, more selective, more ruthless. The moments that once overwhelmed him became moments he controlled. He hit the shot against Boston, the dagger against Indiana, the closing plays in the 2013 finals long before Ray Allen's miracle. LeBron's dominance didn't erupt in heroism, it evolved in precision. His clutch moments weren't always loud, but they were unrelenting. He drove the game into places he understood better than anyone else, slowing the pace until he could dissect it. But even then, the narrative never went away, because LeBron's clutch brilliance didn't always look like the myth we were trained to recognize. He didn't play for the cinematic ending, he played for the right ending. And in a league that worships isolation heroes, that difference kept the debate alive. Then came 2016, the year the question felt irrelevant. Game 7 of the finals wasn't a moment, it was a test of endurance, control, responsibility, and legacy. Kyrie may have hit the shot, but LeBron owned the game. He delivered the chase-down block that froze time, the passes that steadied Cleveland, the leadership that held the moment together as the world trembled around him. Clutch isn't one possession, it is the totality of pressure. And on the biggest stage the league could offer, he mastered it. What the world often forgets is that clutch isn't simply about scoring. It is about absorbing the weight of the moment and bending it in your favor. Sometimes that means taking the shot. Sometimes it means making the pass. Sometimes it means defending the rim with the season on the line. LeBron has never restricted himself to the narrow box the narrative demanded. His clutch identity is multidimensional because his game is multidimensional. Yet the question persists, partly because LeBron doesn't match the visual language of clutch the NBA has crafted over decades: last-second fadeaways, isolation daggers, mythic end-game silhouettes. But partly because clutch moments reveal something deeper about basketball culture. They expose how uncomfortable people become when greatness does not conform to their expectations. LeBron's clutch story is not the story people wanted. It is the story they needed. A reminder that pressure can be mastered intellectually as much as emotionally. A reminder that the best play is not always the loudest one. A reminder that superstar responsibility is measured not in theatrics, but in choices. Today, the statistics say he is one of the most efficient clutch performers in league history. The film shows a player who controls moments rather than gambles through them. His opponents speak with respect, acknowledging that closing time against LeBron is not a scenario. They describe it as a burden, a weight, an inevitability. So, is LeBron James clutch? The answer depends on what clutch means to you. If clutch is isolation theatrics, then he reinvented it. If clutch is decision-making, then he mastered it. If clutch is the ability to bend fate when it matters most, then he defined it for an entire generation. LeBron James didn't solve the question. He changed it.